I'm sitting in the back of a conference room at Columbia University in 2008. Seated around the conference table are several senior professors of computer science who have been asked to attend this meeting by their department chair. People in the room generally seem bored, but not me. I'm not a professor yet. I'm one of the few or only women and probably the youngest person in the room, and I'm really excited to be there. A prominent climate scientist has requested a meeting to discuss the massive amounts of climate data and the need for collaborations with computer science. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Earlier that year, I had written my job applications about climate informatics, a vision I had for using machine learning to shed light on climate change. Machine learning, which underpins artificial intelligence, had already accelerated discovery in the field of biology with the advent of the field of bioinformatics. My colleagues in the tech industry were using machine learning for web search and finding patterns in text and images, but I wanted to apply machine learning to something I was passionate about. And I had been passionate about climate change since my early days as an environmental activist growing up in New York City. Now, during the climate scientist's presentation, I puncture the audience's silence and interject with, "Have you tried machine learning for this problem?" Heads turn. The climate scientist catches my eye at the back of the room and says he'd like to learn more. After his presentation, we chat and decide to have lunch right then and there. At lunch, we hash out an idea for our first research project together. The gist is to use machine learning algorithms that have been successful in predicting the stock market from predictions of multiple experts to do a better job at combining the predictions of the climate models from all different countries whose predictions informed the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC. Things took off from there. Our work was picked up both in the machine learning community and discussed at the IPCC. When it won Best Paper Award at a 2010 NASA conference, we decided to start an international research community and launch an annual research event on climate informatics. In late August 2011, we launched the first event at the New York Academy of Sciences. Their flashy headquarters in Lower Manhattan has spectacular views of the city from their perch on the 40th floor of 7 World Trade Center right across the street from Ground Zero. It's a very exciting event, especially for me. 130 attendees from across the globe: Indonesia, Argentina, Spain, Mexico, Canada, and all across the US. There's even a reporter from China. I will never forget when in the middle of research discussions, a participant stood up and said their hotel was being evacuated. And then another participant chimed in to say their flight had been canceled. Here we are trying to hold this climate informatics conference in the middle of a natural disaster. It turns out Hurricane Irene was headed for New York City and we were in an evacuation zone. Each year the workshop faced its own challenges, sometimes other extreme events, such as the 2013 extreme flooding event in Boulder, Colorado. Meanwhile, the research community was addressing scientific challenges, breaking down communication barriers from different disciplines, and developing tools for climate and weather prediction that are now used in governments throughout the world. In 2018, the World Economic Forum named climate informatics as an important priority in their report on AI for Earth. It's now 2020 and the air is filled with wildfire smoke in most of the western US, and most of the world is staying at home due to a global pandemic. Yet we still persisted with the Climate Informatics Conference, which turned 10 years old last month, albeit virtually. Looking out at so many Zoom cameras, I saw students and early career scientists who shared that same sense of excitement and possibility that I had first felt back in 2008. This left me with a tremendous sense of optimism. Just imagine what the next decade can hold.